If you're in California and even thinking about retirement, the next few minutes could literally save you thousands of dollars in taxes. We're going to break down a really powerful strategy for what we call your quiet years. You know, that gap between when you stop working and when you start taking Social Security. This is your 2025 playbook for the California Roth Ladder. Right off the bat, let's just get this out of the way. A Roth Conversion Ladder, it sounds super complex, right? But it's not about some financial heroics or trying to time the market perfectly. Honestly, it's much more like smart, steady housekeeping. You're just tidying up your finances for the future. So here's the core of it. These gap years, when your income is way lower than it used to be, are a golden opportunity. But, and this is a big but, one wrong move, one conversion that's just a little too big can trigger some seriously expensive penalties. The whole key is knowing where those traps are hidden.
Okay, so let's dive into Section 1, the tax trap itself. Like I said, think of these quiet years as this amazing window for tax planning. But it's a window surrounded by pitfalls that can absolutely cost you thousands if you aren't paying close attention.
And here they are. These are the three main villains of our story. A poorly planned conversion can make you lose your Affordable Care Act health insurance subsidy. It can trigger a future Medicare surcharge that's called IRMA, or it could just push you into a higher tax bracket, which kind of defeats the whole purpose, right? We're going to figure out how to solve for all three. Now, if the solve feels a little complicated, well, you're not wrong, but there's a really good reason for it. The difficulty comes from having to manage three completely different systems, and each one is running on its own conflicting schedule. It's like trying to juggle three different calendars at the same time. And this slide just perfectly illustrates the problem. Your tax brackets, they run on the current calendar year. Simple enough. Your ACA health subsidy, that also depends on this year's income. But Medicare's IRMAA surcharge, that's the tricky one. It actually looks at your income from 2 years ago. Getting these three to play nicely together is the secret to the whole strategy. So let's look at the first major constraint we have to work with. Through 2025, the Affordable Care Act has a premium cap. What that means is your health insurance premiums can't cost you more than 8.5% of your household income. Since every dollar you convert to a Roth adds to that income, this becomes our first major guardrail. Here's the second big number you have to burn into your brain. For 2025, if you're married and filing jointly, that first Medicare or Maya surcharge kicks in the second your income goes $1 over $212,000. And remember the crazy part? That's based on your income from 2 years ago. Let's just make this crystal clear. That 2-year lag is so important. The income you report when you're 63 directly sets how much you're going to pay for Medicare when you turn 65. The same thing happens at 64, setting your premium for 66. These are the years where every single dollar of income has a ripple effect down the road.
Okay, so we've seen the traps, we've seen the confusing timelines, so what's the solution? Well, it's actually a pretty elegant and simple strategy. We call it the 3 ceilings solution, and it cuts right through all that complexity.
Here's how it works. You just need to figure out 3 hard limits, or ceilings. The first one is easy. It's the very top of your target tax bracket. The second is the absolute maximum income you can have and still protect your ACA subsidy. And the third is that income threshold right before you trigger the Medicare IRMAA surcharge.
And this is it. This is the single most important rule of the entire strategy. You look at those 3 ceilings you just figured out, and you simply pick the lowest one. That number, whatever it is, becomes your maximum safe Roth conversion amount for the whole year. It's really that simple.
All right, Section 4, we have our annual cap. That's the what. Now let's get into the how. How do you actually pull this off without stressing about it all year? Well, the key is breaking it down into a simple monthly routine. I absolutely love this analogy. Think of your tax bracket for the year as a bucket. The goal is to make these small, steady conversions every month that fill that bucket right up to the brim, right up to your lowest ceiling without spilling a single drop over the top. Now, let's see how this actually plays out in a few different real-world situations. For a single person at age 62, that ACA subsidy is almost always the limiting factor. It's their lowest ceiling. But for a couple in those critical IRMA years, that's their lowest ceiling. And for someone who might be facing a change in filing status, their tax bracket itself might be the limit. See how the logic is exactly the same, but the answer changes based on your specific situation. Okay, let's zero in on the details that really matter for those of us here in California, because there are a couple of little quirks in our state that actually make this strategy even more powerful. So here are the key differences to know. California taxes Roth conversions. Yep, just like the feds do. But, and this is huge, California does not tax your Social Security benefits. This is a massive deal. It means that delaying Social Security to create those low-income years for conversions is an even better strategy here. But you also have to watch out for our much smaller state standard deduction, which means you'll start paying state tax a lot sooner. All right, here is a critical California-specific detail you absolutely have to know. It's an acronym, SLCSP. It stands for the second lowest cost silver plan, and it's the specific number used to calculate your ACA subsidy. Here's the catch. This is not a statewide number. It changes from county to county, so you have to look up the benchmark for your specific zip code to get your ACA ceiling right. You have to measure twice and cut once on this one. So let's just put it all together. Here is your super simple, repeatable monthly action plan. Step 1, confirm your 3 ceilings. Step 2, make your small monthly conversion. That's just your annual cap divided by 12. And step 3, and this is really important, you need to log into your Covered California account and update your income estimate. This keeps your subsidies accurate all year long so there are no nasty surprises. And we'll end on this final thought because it really captures the whole spirit of this strategy. This is all about proactive, calm financial housekeeping. It's about taking small, deliberate steps today to avoid a massive, stressful tax scramble down the road. By setting your ceilings and just making that steady progress, you're not just managing your taxes, you're buying yourself peace of mind. So the question isn't, can I do this? The real question is, what's my lowest ceiling this year?